What is going on, Cardano friends? Welcome to the YouTube channel. My name is Fareed, and in today's video, I've got a very special guest with me directly from the GeroWallet team, and that's actually going to be their CEO, Shawn Roller. How are you doing, Shawn?
Doing great. Thank you for having me.
Not a problem. Thank you for giving us a little bit of your time, especially as you guys are getting ready to gear up for a big release of your mobile app. Now, I just want to give the watchers of this video a quick idea of what we're going to be talking about, and then we're going to jump straight into it. So if this is your guys' first time hearing about GeroWallet, they're going to be a non-custodial wallet launching on Cardano right now, providing users the ability to send and receive ADA. They're also actively working on a mobile version of the application, which we'll talk about here in a second. And they're also going to be supporting NFT staking, as well as providing a DEX aggregator feature. Now, before we go any further, if this is your guys' first time visiting the channel, I aim to provide you guys in the Cardano community with the latest news, tutorials, and reviews when it comes to the top projects within the ecosystem. And so if interviews like what we're having today with Shawn interests you, make sure to hit that subscribe. And if you guys have any questions or comments about anything that we plan on discussing today, then please make sure to leave those down below. That said, we're going to move into an introduction about Shawn, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the products and services that they offer, and then we're going to wrap up by talking about some of the new features that they plan on releasing over the course of the next few days. How does that sound to you, Shawn?
Sounds great. I can go ahead and get started. I'm Shawn. I'm one of the co-founders of GeroWallet, and so what we are is a wallet, non-custodial, focus on security and user experience. And so my background is actually in user experience. I worked for a few companies in Silicon Valley, and then I have a background in psychology and a degree in human factors. And so I'm all about improving technology for humans. And so in the blockchain or crypto digital assets area, there's just a lack of focus on user experience, which is very understandable, but I think it's time to change that. And so last April, we decided to go ahead and take a stab at it basically and try to bring a MetaMask-like solution to Cardano that's very UX friendly. And tomorrow we're bringing mobile live. So it's been pretty good and happy to elaborate more on what we're doing, that sort of thing. So, but I think that's a pretty good introduction, at least so far.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. One thing that's actually kind of been on my mind, how did you guys come up with the actual name of the wallet, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, it's actually, I think it's pretty simple how we came up with it. It was really catchy, but it's hard to know just by looking at it or reading it. But it's actually named after Girolamo Cardano. That's where the Gero comes from. But it's hard to know that unless you like kind of dig deep into where Cardano's name came from.
Gotcha. I like it. Well, that's cool. So that's a little bit of your background in, what you're bringing to Cardano in terms of your solution. Now, I kind of want to talk about, what are the basic functions that you can do with the GeroWallet? I know, for example, there's other simple wallets that, provide similar services, such as the ability to send ADA, receive ADA, store NFTs, view NFTs. Can you kind of talk about what you can do right now with the GeroWallet as it stands?
Yeah. It's right now we have a non-custodial wallet live as an extension on Cardano, so you can connect to many of the Dapps across the ecosystem. It has the basic wallet functionality, so it supports CNTs. You can purchase ADA, you can send your NFTs, it has NFT support, but also you can listen to your audio NFTs directly in the wallet, which is pretty cool. I think how we do it, if you have any music NFTs to check it out. Also hardware wallet support, staking support. I think that's a pretty good rough idea of what we have going on with that. But with the mobile coming out soon, it's going to include a DEX aggregator and then also that Dapp store, which is essential for mobile.
Gotcha. And we're actually going to talk about both of those features here in just a minute. One thing that you just mentioned that just caught me off guard that I was not expecting was that you said that we can play back audio through the actual wallet. That's a first. I know, the Nami wallet supports visual NFTs, but I don't think that it supports playing audio NFTs directly in that. So do you mind kind of explaining how that works and how you guys are able to do that?
Absolutely. So there's like a few projects out there like Six City, actually with the Noom team, right? They just put out NFTs that included MERS and Nito as sample sales. So for example, those NFTs, you can listen to them in the wallet. You don't have to go outside. You don't have to go to pool.pm, that sort of thing. So we do still have to support Arweave for those specific sample style NFTs. But the other things like the 6 City NFTs that you can get through drip drops, for example, you can just listen to it directly in the wallet. And full also video. So if there's videos, if there's NFTs with metadata that has video files, you can watch that directly in the wallet.
So in terms of tokens and tokenomics, I know you guys have your own token, right? Can you kind of talk a little bit about its utilities and what can somebody get out of the token as a holder of the Gero token?
Yeah, so the main thing is going to be the governance. So it's a governance token. And so we have recently completed our smart contracts for the governance. And so that's something that will be coming out next week, meaning for the example we always get is if we're going to support other blockchains, which we do plan to. We want to be chain agnostic and interoperable, but we're just focusing on Cardano right now. So for example, if we want to support Ergo, we can have a vote and there can be a yes or no vote, that sort of thing, and token holders can kind of guide the way that GeroWallet is going to be moving forward.
Gotcha.
The other thing is going to be like discounts for the swaps and the DEX aggregator. Also, stakers will receive a portion of those fees that we collect for swapping or any other fees. So eventually we will be doing a full dashboard, which aims to be basically the Swiss Army knife. So it's bringing everything all in one place. So you don't have to navigate across several dApps, different screens, passwords, all of that sort of thing. You'll be able to manage all of your finances all in one place, borrowing and lending, blah, blah, blah. But we're going to be integrating a lot of services. And with that, there may be service fees attached to it if it's appropriate. And, those fees will be, a portion of those fees will be distributed to stakers of the token for basically supporting the community. It's basically an added feature to token holders. I mean, we're going to try to do as much as we can. There's going to be other things as well as like access to premium features. Either those may be paid features, but if you hold the token, you can gain access. And then also personalization. So using the tokens to purchase skins for the wallet or something like that sort of thing. But the main thing is governance, and then the rest of it is really kind of perks for being a token holder.
Got it. And yeah, I really like that. I know from a governance standpoint, there's a lot of different teams and projects working on finalizing how to get that DAO structure, to really function. So I'll be interested to kind of see how you guys implement governance and what you guys give the community the ability to do. But a lot of exciting stuff there. And what I really liked that you mentioned there too was the rewards on staking, right? So I know there's a lot of other projects that are doing something similar to where, if you hold the governance token and you stake that token, you're able to earn a part of the fees that are also generated by the platform. In your case, the wallet, did you say it was trading? Like how's that income generated?
For example, if you complete a swap on the DEX aggregator, there's a small free fee. So when we put out the mobile, maybe it might be live here as this interview goes live, but there's a 1 ADA. We just charge 1 ADA for the swap, for the convenience basically. And so let's say 15% of that will go to stakers, that sort of thing. We may have a vote actually to determine the percentage and stuff like that. So what percentage goes to the treasury, what percentage goes to stakers, that sort of thing. And so we're close to actually putting out the smart contracts for governance. And so, it'll be great to finally get those out and actually have true governance. Because right now there just really isn't any utility for the token, which I don't prefer, but it is what it is. So.
Right. And I think that's really what it's all about, is putting the power back in the people's hands, right? And so, like you just said, allowing for them to vote how much of the rewards comes back to them, I think is huge. Again, I'll be keeping an eye out on that. So that's going to kind of wrap things up for tokenomics, unless there's anything else that you want to add there.
Happy to add more. I don't have anything that comes to mind right now, but I think my focus is on mobile right now, but happy to answer any more questions or anything like that anyone has.
Perfect. We're going to roll through these, I think, next 2 or 3 questions, and then we're going to kind of shift gears and talk about mobile. So in terms of partners and partnerships, I know that just today there was a huge announcement within the community about you guys partnering up with Meld, which is a DeFi lending and borrowing platform. Do you kind of mind talking about how that came to be, and then what other partners might be on the horizon for GeroWallet?
Yeah, definitely. So we've been talking to Meld for a long time, actually. And one of our advisors is actually an advisor on the Meld team as well. So we have somewhat of a close relationship, and I met with Ken at Consensus this year. So basically, there's not much I can say maybe yet. All I can say is that there is a commitment to integrating the wallet into their Dapp. But there are, I guess I could say there's other things that we are looking forward to putting together, but it's just, we're not ready to announce that sort of thing yet.
Got it. Got it. And then in terms of like other partnerships, are you guys also partnering with ADA Handle? I know that like they're a pretty common partner, especially with like a bunch of the other wallets that we've seen on the Cardano scene. Is that something that you guys already done, or is that something that's in the works?
Yeah, I think we partnered with ADA Handle a long time ago. Yeah, we were talking to them before they actually launched the NFTs, and we have supported them in the wallet and an extension. And then when the mobile launches, it will support ADA Handle right off the bat.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Okay, moving things along. In terms of development and security, what are you guys actively working on now? And then what measures are you guys taking to make sure that, the GeroWallet is as secure as possible for members within the community that are actually using your tool?
Yes. So there's a few questions there. I'll try to break it apart. So what are we working on now? Right now is multi-token sending. So that's a big feature. It's pretty much a mandatory feature that we just don't have in the extension right now. We kind of migrated resources to mobile, but that is the very next feature that's going to be coming out on the extension, and then soon after on mobile. Chris on our team actually is a security expert, and he was even an adjunct professor at a college. So we very much lean on his expertise for how we handle things. So every step of the way, we are adhering to the highest security standards, and it only goes through Chris for sign-off. It's very important for us to be secure, and even my focus is in UX, and I think security is a major part of user experience. So if you don't have security, you don't have user experience, you don't have trust, you can't, you don't want to use the product, that sort of thing. That's very important. We certainly don't want any issues to happen. We don't want people to lose their assets. It's going to harm them and us. We want to keep going for a long time. So one thing that we do is audits. So we always go through pen testing before we put anything out live. On top of that, we have a bug bounty through Immunify. So there's constantly people trying to bring out issues for the wallet or bug testing or that sort of thing. So we constantly have people that can get rewarded for doing those things and trying to break it, rather than somebody that's like a black hat trying to harm people. But the nice thing is that we are a non-custodial wallet. So if someone doesn't have your seed phrase, it's really hard for them to actually harm anyone using the wallet, that sort of thing.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think that's very relieving to hear that, you guys are taking proactive steps, with the bug bounty program to make sure that things are secure. And then, as you mentioned, as long as people have, their seed phrases backed up in a safe and secure spot, that really minimizes the risk of them, being vulnerable to those types of things. Now, one thing that just came into my mind is about hardware wallet. Do you guys, support, or do you guys do anything related to hardware wallets?
Absolutely. That's a very important part. So we support Ledger and Trezor right now for the dApps in the wallet, so you can connect your hardware wallet to the extension. We support it. It's very important. we support it here for a while now, and then we're constantly updating as well as Ledger and Trezor are adhering to Cardano and updating the code basically.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I think that's going to do it for the first initial round of questions. I think this has given us a really solid idea as to what you guys are doing, what you guys are providing, and then what measures you guys are taking to make sure that everything is done the right way. So let's kind of jump into the meat and potatoes of this call, which I believe is going to be the launch of the mobile app, which will be taking place over the course of the next 24 hours, as well as the launch of the DEX aggregator feature. So can you give us like a brief introduction of like how you guys have come to the point where you guys are now with the mobile app development? And then, like I said, after that, we'll talk a little bit more about the DEX aggregator feature.
Yeah. So very soon the mobile will be live. Maybe it's possible it's already live, depending on when this video goes live. But so we have decided to do it as an open beta. So we just ended closed beta, and the next step is open beta. After we collect feedback and knock out all the bugs, if there's any, I'm sure there'll be some, but we will open it up to go live. So I just feel like it's a smarter process to go a little bit slower. Don't set everyone's expectations to be like, hey, here's this perfect app, that sort of thing, without collecting everyone's feedback, because we definitely want to be able to bring out what everyone wants. But we know that there's a few areas that could be improved as far as user experience, and we know people like to trade. Now, one thing that's kind of bulky is having to connect your wallet to all of the dApps. You have to look to see what has the best price, which has the most liquidity, what DEX is the token even on. But the cool thing is, you can be on the subway. You can, if you already have the GeroWallet app, you can go ahead and swap your favorite tokens. You can swap ADA or World Mobile or Meld or whatever you prefer right there in your pocket, in your hand, and it offers the best price across all of the DEXs. You don't have to do all that searching, that sort of thing. Maybe there's some news that pops up on Twitter, or like, man, I want to swap real fast, but I don't have access to my laptop. Well, there you go. It's right there on your phone, and it's really quick and easy.
And if I understand that correctly, it's all being done from within the actual wallet itself. So you're not necessarily actually having to connect your wallet to a DEX. I'm able to trade and swap tokens from within my wallet.
Exactly. Yeah. There's no connection. You don't have to go to that Dapp and hit connect wallet and then click your wallet. It just happens immediately. You type in your password, click swap, and then click your tokens, and then continue. You're done. That sort of thing.
That's impressive. Now, you just talked a little bit about the fact that you guys are going to be releasing in 2 stages, right? You guys are going to be going through like an internal beta testing phase, and you guys are going to kind of be opening that up to the public. Did I hear you say that correctly?
Yeah. So we've done a closed beta testing with several people, and now we feel like it's ready to go out to the public for open beta testing. And so it'll be an open beta testing for a short amount of time. And there's a few reasons for that. There's bugs. We want to improve it based on feedback. So instead of just creating 100% finished product and shipping it out, it's better to do it, in steps along with the feedback, that sort of thing. So that's kind of part of the UX process as well. But also, like the Dapp store won't be fully filled up with dApps yet. We're launching with Epic.art and JPEG store. And we're doing that because we want to definitely support the NFT users. But also, we already have the DEXs included in the swap, so we don't need to focus on including the DEXs into the Dapp store, although they will be included for sure. We'll be including, all of the dApps that people are going to be requesting. We already have a short list that we want to do. It just feels like it's in a beta, you know what I'm saying? So we want to get it out into people's hands as soon as we can. People were requesting it, and we want to get that DEX aggregator out into people's hands because it's awesome. And we're very excited about that. So I just felt like a good time to put it out in people's hands as open beta, collect some feedback, fix some bugs, and then button it up, add some features. So for example, the hardware wallet support won't be in the mobile right off the bat, but that's going to be coming out very, very soon after. We basically wanted to minimize the number of variables that can be put into play that cause problems and that sort of thing. So felt like it was in a good place. So we're shipping it tomorrow, or it could be live right now.
Yeah, no, I'm a huge fan of the MVP approach, right? Like get the minimum out there, get it working, and then iterate on that, as opposed to trying to get everything out there with the bells and whistles to, like what you said, you expose yourself to a lot more avenues for error. So I really like that approach. Now, you mentioned that you guys have a short list of DEXs, and you talked about the 2 marketplaces that you guys are planning to support. How did you come to that short list for the DEXs? And then how do you guys plan on integrating newer platforms at launch, such as like the Genius Yield platform, right? Which they're going to be building, like, let's say, and I believe releasing in like Q1 of 2023. But like, have you guys thought about adopting newer DEXs when the time comes, as well as, obviously onboarding what's already out in the ecosystem?
Yeah, definitely. I think largely based off popularity or community requests, that sort of thing. So it's pretty obvious, I think, which dApps will be highly requested. And so that's why we kind of shortlisted that sort of thing. For example, we'll include like Sunday Swap, Min Swap, Wing Riders, Muesli Swap, that sort of thing in the Dapp list for sure. And they're supported through the swap feature as well. But other dApps that come to mind will be like Axo. So like when they go live, we'll definitely want to include them, and Meld and Indigo and Liquid. The list grows, that sort of thing. So we'll be sure to try and support as many as we can, and be conscious of what the community wants, that sort of thing. So we're not going to be like picking and choosing based on what we prefer, that sort of thing. As long as, the big thing is that they need to be trusted and secure. Those will be kind of the minimum thresholds. If we don't feel that those things are met, then maybe we may consider not including them in the Dapp store. But that's always up to a vote as well.
Yeah, that was actually what I was wanting to hear was, hopefully the community can have some input, and it's not just you guys just calling the shots based on what you guys see. But obviously you also want to make sure to take security into account, because even though it might be something that the community wants, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's secure, right? So I think it's a very, very fine line between obviously giving the power to the community, but then you guys also making sure that whatever you guys are onboarding is safe and secure for everybody else that's going to be interacting with that on your platform. Now, I want to kind of ask another question about the DEX side of things and the trading. Now, you mentioned that, these trades are going to be happening directly within the application or directly within the wallet itself. But right now, we have brand new platforms like Axo coming on, like Genius Yield coming on as well, where they're going to be offering new types of trades, right? So when we first came onto Cardano, we were just okay with just the old-fashioned swap at whatever the price was, right? Are you guys also going to be able to support, limit orders and these different types of orders on your actual platform initially, or is that something that you guys are kind of planning on rolling in at a later time?
So it's something that we've kind of thought about, and I think we'll have to dig in deeper when like Axo comes live, that sort of thing. But also we can keep in close communication with them to see how best we can support it. So right now I'd say not to expect those limit orders to be built into the DEX aggregator, just by the nature of how they are, because if somebody wants to make a swap, and it's meant to be kind of quick in their mobile, that sort of thing, maybe we could have a little side division for limit orders as we build moving forward, especially if that's what the community wants. But I think as the DEX aggregator feature is now, it's pretty difficult to include limit orders. We'd have to do some design work and back end work. So maybe, I guess is the answer. I'd like to. I'm not against it, but don't expect it maybe as Axo launches. But we would love to work with them and see how we can support them for sure, and Genius Yield as well.
Glad. I'm glad to hear that you guys are at least open to that idea, right? Now, on that same kind of note, could you kind of talk a little bit about some of the different attributes surrounding the trade that the user's going to have the ability to kind of like manage, right? So for example, like the slippage and things like that, what will I be able to actually manage myself before I place that trade?
Exactly. So right now, the first MVP version of the mobile, it'll be a 1% slippage default. And there isn't a way to adjust that yet, but we will build that in for sure if somebody wants to do 0.1, 2%, 3%, 5%. It just won't be there originally.
Next, I want to talk a little bit about the NFT staking. Do you kind of mind giving us an idea as to what that is, how that's going to work, and how we can get our hands on the NFTs that are actually eligible for staking?
Yeah, so that's actually a pretty big project that we're working on, kind of a side project. And so it actually includes our smart contracts as well. So we've been wanting to do NFT staking for quite a long time to give our original drop some utility. And we worked with M Labs to create those smart contracts, and then they were audited by Tweak. So these are a little bit more special. So I know a lot of projects offer staking, but it's off chain. It's honestly, just objectively not as secure, that sort of thing. But with our smart contracts, it's going to be on chain. It's going to be much more secure, and it's audited. The downside of it just costs more money, and it's just taking so long, and people are like, where's our staking, that sort of thing. But I think it's going to be worth it when everything goes live. So basically, we have two drops. We have our original Gero stag collection, and then we have our mecha stags that we did in collaboration with Kazuski. So both of those will be eligible for NFT staking. The idea is you will stake your NFT, let's say for 30 days, and there will be a certain percentage of yield for your Gero token. And the more rare that the NFT is, the higher the yield. That's what we are planning to be doing. And yeah, I think that's pretty much like you commit your NFT, you lock it up into the smart contracts, let it sit there for 30 days, and then you can claim your yield at the end of the staking period. So it could be 30, 60, 90. We haven't exactly set those out. But let's see, we're like 70% done. It's going to be coming out in 2023 for NFT staking.
Got it. I'm looking forward to that. Now, I've got a question for you, and I'm sure this is probably one that you get within the community a lot when it comes to the staking aspect. Now, you talked about, earning a yield based off the NFTs that you stake. Are you going to be able to stack NFTs? Or let's say I own more than one of the NFTs. Are you just going to pull from whichever the most valuable one is?
I think that's a tough question because the issue is the whales. So if you allow it to be stacked, then some whale can come in and buy, 1,000 of the NFTs, and then they own, 30% of the circulating supply or something like that.
Right.
So I wouldn't expect to be able to stack them, at least per wallet. We won't be able to. There's going to be limitations. Like we won't be able to control it. You could have 100 wallets with 100 NFTs and that sort of thing. But we're probably going to include some smaller limitations to where the community can get the most out of NFT staking without allowing the whales to exploit it, basically.
Got it. Sounds good. All right, Shawn, I think we've kind of highlighted at least a lot of my main points again. We've talked about the launch of the mobile app, which will be taking place over the course of the next day or so. We've talked about the DEX aggregator feature and the NFT staking that's supported, or that will be supported by the GeroWallet. Now, I'm kind of turning it over to you. Is there anything else that you want to share with the community that you feel like they need to know about GeroWallet and what you guys are building?
Oh, yeah. I mean, right off the bat, I just want to say thank you to everyone that has been a part of the community and stuck around for us and stuck around through the bear market and pushed us. And hopefully the mobile, hopefully you really appreciate the mobile. We worked really hard on it, worked really hard on that DEX aggregator. So thank you so much for the support. The other thing is, we just have so much more that we want to be building. We have the NFT staking and the dashboard. So we have a long way to go. So we're going to be around for a long time. And I don't know. I'm looking 5 feet in front of me, which is mobile right now. So it's hard to see all of the things that we have to do in the long run. But I know that there's a long list. So I think the big thing is just thank you so much for the support.
Yeah, no, and I completely understand that you are only seeing 5 feet, in front of you because of such a big moment for the Gero community, and I'm sure for yourself included, because you guys have been working very hard for this year. So I definitely want to say big congratulations to you and your team on what you guys are building, and what you guys are bringing to Cardano. I know that there's definitely a lot of other competitors out there, but what you guys are building, I think, will give you guys a competitive edge moving in the long run. And so we're going to kind of close this out. We're going at right about 30 or so minutes. And so I want to ask you, Shawn, if there's a member within the community right now that's looking to get in touch with you and become a member of the Gero community, how can they do that? What's the simplest way?
Discord, Telegram, Twitter. Those are the 3 biggest ways, the easiest way to get involved.
Gotcha. So what I will do then is I will also go ahead and leave the link to all of the GeroWallet social media handles down in the description below. But I think that that's going to take us through the end of today's brief interview with Shawn Roller, again, who is the CEO of the GeroWallet team. So you guys definitely make sure to go give them a look, download the wallet, test it out. And then as the launch of the mobile app goes out, definitely make sure to go ahead and give them your feedback. Again, they're going to be a wallet solution on Cardano, giving you guys the ability to send and receive ADA. They're going to be supporting a mobile wallet, NFT staking, and providing a DEX aggregator feature. Again, Shawn, I want to say thank you very much for your time on today's call. I look forward to hopefully having you on again as you guys release your additional features.
Yeah, sounds great. Thank you so much for having me.